Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This is the third episode. This is the fourth episode of Bobaz Builds. Can you believe it? I feel like it's going so fast. Last episode we built this beautiful outpost with the trees, and I have been loving making trees. I've been sick for a full week, and during that time I didn't really play a lot of Minecraft. And then after that week, I still have been a little bit under the weather, and I've just been making trees this entire time since I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. We made this outpost, but it's not really connected up to the castle at all. Plus this area is super messy and definitely needs some work. I had the vague idea that I wanted to put a forest over here, but the problem with that is that from over here you couldn't see the outpost anymore because of all the trees. And it looked really messy and green, and there were really no points of interest. So I decided to scrap that idea for now and just reduce it to a couple of trees lining the road towards the castle. But that doesn't mean you won't get to see some beautiful trees in this episode. And then, as you may have seen at the end, we will also be building a dragon. But before we can do anything else, the first thing that we have to do is get all of this terrain prepped up and ready so that we can properly build on it. So I got a bunch of grass ready that I still had from the castle build, and we'll see how far that takes me. So without further ado, I think it is time to get our hands dirty. Let's go. And with that, our wheat farm is complete. I really like the yellow color of the wheat. It looks really nice to have this splash of color in our world. And with the dry grass giving a little bit of variation, it looks really nice. Honestly, it wasn't that bad to build. The most annoying part is planting the wheat. I think it took as long as building the entire terrain and stuff itself, but it was definitely worth it. I really like the view from up here under the tree. It's really nice. We also have our first tree in place, and I think it looks pretty good. The way in which I built trees has changed a lot over time. What I like to do now is I start with the leaves. So I only put the first trunk in, then I start with the leaves, and then only afterwards I put in all the branches to connect the leaves to the trunk. And I think as a result, I get a tree that looks good from all angles, and I really get to focus on how the leaves will shape the tree. And I really like how it turned out. It's definitely an improvement from whatever my previous attempts were. This tree really makes me excited to build more of them. But before we do that, I want to make sure we have enough wheat to create these packed mud paths. So I'll be turning this wheat field into something a little bit productive and have a small wheat farm under here. This here is where I'm gonna put a little wheat farm so that I don't have to be worried about planting wheat anymore. So let's go do that. Alright, so the wheat farm is in place, the villagers are in there, and they're planting the wheat. It's gonna take a little bit of time before they actually produce wheat, but that's okay. We're just gonna be working in the area, and we'll let them produce their wheat in the background, and soon they'll be producing wheat for us. Very nice. But let's put our attention to this path over here. It is time to build the rest of our trees, get this place all foliaged up. So let's just get right into that. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, I think this is a good point to bring you back in and show a little bit of what we built. We built a lot of trees, so let's take a look at them. The first ones I want to show is, once you've already seen the birches, I think these kind of help tie in this area of the outpost to this island over here. They kind of smooth the transition a little bit, and also we're setting this up to be a little bit of a picture frame. We'll talk more on that later. I also built this part of the river out. We have this fallen tree which has kind of become a beaver dam here. I think it looks really nice. On this side we have more of that swampy river area, and then I built a willow over here. For this willow I used azalea to jungle to moss, and then we put glowberries on that to kind of give that weeping effect. And then in the middle we have our oaks and all kind of like bushy trees. I really had a rough time designing this area because I had a hard time finding the balance of how many trees I would need. As you can see, I think it starts to look messy really fast with all the green, and I think that would kind of take away from this view, which I did not want. But I also wanted you to be able to lose sight of the castle and be submerged underneath the canopy. And eventually I found a pretty decent balance. When you come in here, you get another little bit of a picture frame over here with the wheat field. It's not perfect right now because you can still see the area over here and on the sides. I think when we are putting it a little bit of taller foliage on the ground, that will hide it a little bit more and it will help it a lot. I want to talk about this tree real quick because it's probably my favorite. It was supposed to be an ash tree, but ashes look very similar to oaks. So I just try to make it a little bit different, and I did that by giving it a little bit more of an oval shape and using the azalea a bit more as like highlights. I think it did turn out really well. It feels like a different species than an oak, and that is really hard to do within Minecraft and our limited palette. So I'm really happy with this tree. But I want to take a little bit of a break from building all this foliage. So let's go on a side mission and focus our attention on the main centerpiece of this episode, which is going to be a dragon. And I'm really excited to build this dragon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. Back in January, I was in a call with my friend Monkey, and we were both talking about how we wanted to build dragons in Minecraft. I had never made organics before, and Monkey didn't have a lot of experience either, so we thought it would be fun to both try and build one. Monkey came up with the idea to make dragons together in her world, and we were joined by Milan, who had a lot more experience with dragons. But quickly, more and more people started joining in on dragon building. And soon enough, we had around 8 people making dragons together. It was so much fun, and I made some great memories. And I'm now very pleased to say that the dragon safely made it over to our survival world. And there we have it. Our dragon is on the realm. It looks so good. I love it. I love how it reveals itself from behind the trees when you walk out on the bridge. It looks so nice. I really tried to give it a dynamic pose with it moving through the sky, and I think it works. It feels alive and it feels like it's flying around, and it just adds that little bit of interest in the sky. Look at that. And I really want to give a huge shout out to Monkey again for building the dragon with me. It was a lot of fun. Monkey makes some amazing builds and she has a great YouTube channel, so you should definitely check her out. I'll link that down below. But now that our beautiful dragon is in the sky and looming over us, I think it's time to put the final touches on this path and really make it feel alive. So let's go do that. Our foliage is finally in place and it already looks so much better. I really like how it turned out walking through here. It feels so peaceful. And you can see now that this area feels a lot more open now with the grass in this area around it. And we have this little bit of color on this side. And we also have this pop-up shop over here. I added this last minute because I felt like this area was a little bit empty. So we have this caravan who set up shop over here. And other barrels are outside. Yeah, I think this adds that little bit of interest to this area that it needed. Because we've been building nature all day. So it's nice to have this little bit of human influence scattered around. Then over here we have the path that goes to the castle. And then we have another path splitting this way over to behind the wheat field with the house and the windmill. And yeah, I love how this looks now. These paths look so much better with just a little bit of grass sprinkled in and some flowers. I also have these saplings and I don't see a lot of people using these. But because the dark oak and the pale oak only grow when there's 4 saplings around, you can just place these and they look really nice. And just walking around with the dragon looming over us, it just feels super nice right now. And again, just like last week, if you have a better name than Pop Shop for this little caravan over here, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll make sure to add it in the next video. Speaking of comments, I think we've reached the point in the episode where I take some of your comments from the last episode and read them out. Now, last episode, I asked you guys 2 important questions. The first question was, what should I name this inn? I was actually surprised with the amount of people that wanted to participate. It was super fun to read all your comments, and you all had some amazing suggestions. So it was pretty hard to choose what I wanted to name it. But in the end, I chose for this name from Torvid Bente, who says to name it the King's Toll, as in former days it may have taken a toll for people to cross the bridge. And I think that was a great idea. Originally I wanted this to be a toll bridge as well, but I didn't want to ruin the view, which is why I didn't lean into it that much. But this way I do get to incorporate it a little bit, so I think that is perfect. So thank you Dorvid Bente for that comment, and thank you everyone else for leaving your suggestions in the comments below. My second question was if I should start a Discord. So let me read out this comment from Minilam FPS. Love the frame of the castle, and on the Discord note, yes, you should absolutely create the community. This can bring the building community together and help improve each other's building skill. And I totally agree. I think it would be super fun to have a Discord. I was struggling a lot thinking about if I wanted to have a Discord since there is already so many great Discords. And in the end, I think, you know what? It's just gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm happy to announce that from this point on, we have a Discord. So if you want to chat with me or people that watch me, please join the Discord. I'll leave a link down below, and I'll be happy to see you there.
What is a Discord?
And that brings us to our last comment, which is from It's Legio. Great video, Bobaz. It's Legio is another Minecraft content creator. He has his own YouTube channel, and he has this amazing survival world that is 6 years old. They have it together with a bunch of people. One of them is Milan, who I mentioned in this video. And they do some amazing builds. Plus, Legio is also Dutch. So he's definitely my favorite Dutch Minecraft survival builder. And yeah, I really appreciate that comment. And with that, I think we've reached the end of our episode. So let's take a final stroll through the forest. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. What is it?
If I take one more step, it'll be the furthest away from home I've ever been.
Come on, monkey. Let's go.
Okay. Actually, I've decided.
Alright.
It's my time.
No! No! You're too young! One more step and I'll be the first away from home I've ever been.
It's okay.